About a year and a half ago, I did a video on a brand new GMC 1500 Sierra that I had just bought. Has the L87 6.2 liter motor in it, and boy was I thrilled. As the video showed, I traded in my 2018 Ford Raptor, and boy did I really enjoy that truck. Real nice driving, super smooth going down the highway. There was some things coming up on that particular truck. It was 5 years old, and it was starting to, there was some grumblings of cam phaser issues with that particular model, that particular motor. And so I decided, you know, before I have to do a complete cab off fix of the cam phasers on that, I'll go ahead and trade that thing out, and ended up getting the GMC. And I've had GMCs all my life, never owned a Ford, so that Raptor was my very first Ford. Little did I know there was going to be a lot of controversy and issues with that L87 6.2 liter motor from GMC. And when I picked that thing up, I loved the way it sounded. My wife, all my friends, everybody said, "Man, you bought an old man truck. It looks like an old man truck. Why, that's just not you, Doug." So you're going to see in this video how I solved the issue of the 6.2 liter L87 motor. I'm out here with Robbie Shartle. He is part owner, you and your father, your parents?
Yep.
And now you do what, 100% of all the tint jobs out here?
I do. All the work here and the commercial and residential work.
Okay. So explain that to some of these people, that the commercial and residential, because you know a lot of people just think that tinting a vehicle window is what it is. It's you tint a vehicle.
Yeah. So the commercial and residential work is all flat glass.
Okay.
We do a lot of businesses for privacy, and also it cuts down on glare, heat reduction, and fading on carpets and furniture.
For most of their office spaces and things
Yes.
like that, really, is what you're doing. Okay, cool. What do you like doing better, vehicles or buildings?
I would say I like the flat glass a little better.
Yeah, more forgiving and easier?
It is more forgiving.
You know, I've seen big guys do this, and it's not easy to roll around in the back seat of a car doing a curved window like that.
No, coupes are probably the worst.
Yeah.
Anything with only 2 doors is a terrible.
And speaking of coupe, we got to go take a look at this. And I know your dad personally, and I've known him for many years, but he's got himself a drag car here. It's an old Camaro. What is that, a 69 Camaro?
68 Z28. That is an 84 Monte Carlo.
And I know both of these are faster than I'll get out. There's Dad, there's John. And then, is this you, Robbie, or your dad?
Yep. Nope, that's me.
That's you.
He's been doing it since the 70s, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And where do you guys normally race?
We go to Quaker over in Salem, Ohio quite a bit.
Okay.
We go to the old Thompson, what's now Coonley
Okay.
Coonley racetrack. But
So if any of you guys out there go to the racetracks, the drag strips, you ever see this car? Why, you saw it here on the channel as well. So we're going to head over here to, I guess, what makes tinting windows really actually much easier than it was 30 years ago. You didn't have this technology back then, correct?
no, we didn't.
And so here's the neat thing about this. You can pull up the year of the vehicle, right?
It's the year, the make, and the model.
All right. And it I guess, plots it or prints it, just like a vinyl printer would do.
Yep.
And he loads the film into the printer, or the plotter, or the cutter. What do you call it?
cutter.
Cutter?
Yep.
All right.
Then
Loads the film or the tint into the cutter, and it's going to come out. It'll size it all up, and then it's got, instead of, like if this was a printer, it would have a pen or a marker in there, but this actually has a razor sharp knife in there, right?
Yep, where that blue cap's at, there's a tiny microscopic knife.
And you can maybe start to see a little bit of the edge of where it's cut that out. And it's cutting that out and sizing it all perfectly for that specific window. Now, when you get it on there, there's no external outline that you have to cut anymore. You just have to fit, shrink, and do your thing, right?
Correct. So right now, I'm going to cut it off and trim it out, get rid of all this excess.
And you're leaving yourself, what, ½ inch?
Somewhere in that. And then after this, I'll cut the sides and the bottom off. And you'll see that there's a clear liner on here.
Okay.
After I get this.
And you're just making it more manageable for yourself.
Correct.
The other thing I'd like you to maybe explain is the difference between a ceramic film and a regular film. Is that what, did I say that correctly, ceramic film?
Yes.
Okay.
So the ceramic film is a higher quality, and it cuts down on the heat and UV rays more than the carbon film that we use for most of our cars.
Okay.
We do offer the ceramic film, but it is more money because it's a more expensive film for us to buy.
Is one easier to work with than the other?
They're about the same.
Yeah.
So.
Would anybody know the difference between the two if they didn't specifically ask for it?
Maybe somebody that knew what they were looking for.
Okay.
There's a little better clarity with the ceramic films, but the carbon film is still very good,
All
and
right.
it's at a better price point. So that's why we offer it more.
Gotcha. So I'm amazed at what you just did there because I would have gouged right into that.
Oh, there's times.
Absolutely would have gouged right into that. But here's the cool thing. As quickly as that printed that out of there or cut it, you can make a new one pretty easily.
I can. And, you know, there are vehicles out there that aren't in the system that I've got a hand cut still, but.
Yeah. It used to be that this process took forever to do, to cut the window film itself out. And that was while it was on the side of the vehicle. So now he's just doing these in preparation. He'll throw it over there on his glass wall, his roller, if you will, and get them all set up. Now, to the $1 million question. Is what you're doing legal?
The state of Pennsylvania does not allow window film on your vehicles. However,
But wait, we're in Pennsylvania. When I pull out of here, I'm illegal.
I have done multiple personal vehicles for local police and state police, and we've asked the question because everybody asks, put on whatever's legal. So we asked them, what is illegal? 70% is what would come factory on the front doors on this vehicle.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if this one says it. Yep, it does, right there. Transparency 70%. So that is what is legal in the state of Pennsylvania. You can do whatever you want on the back. Most pickups, Chevrolet, Ford, GMC, Dodge, are usually around 18 to 20% on the back from the factory.
Okay.
And that's just dyed glass.
So there's not a film on those?
No, nope,
Okay.
that tin is in the glass.
All right.
So we asked them what What is legal? Their biggest concern is they want to be able to see how many people are in the vehicle for their safety.
When you say the percentage, 70%, 30%, all that, what does that percentage actually mean?
That is the percent of light that is being allowed through the window.
Okay.
So the film that we're going to put on your truck is 18%, so that would be 18% of light allowed through the window. And those seem to be okay by police officers.
All right.
And
because it'll be very similar to the back, and as you guys can tell, when I go to the back window, I can still see through that. I can see my hand. So I basically just wanted it to resemble the back window, be the same. I'm not looking to completely black out the side of this thing.
So now we are going to get ready to shrink the window.
Now, some people watching this might be like, "Hey, wait a minute! You don't put that tint on the outside."
No, we pre-shrink the window to the outside of the window, and you will see here in a minute there is what we call fingers that will pop up on the bottom, and the window is actually curved.
I like to call them pain in the butts.
Yeah. So here's one right here starting to develop, and then there's another one right here.
Okay.
And after we get the other film on the other window, we'll take a heat gun and shrink it.
And that's basically just shrinking it or sizing it.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually see a little bit of the wrinkle in once you've pulled that off there, but
And once I squeegee it out, you won't see it
it'll
at
go
all.
away. So there's one other thing I wanted to show you guys that is nice, and I've seen other people on video and whatever not do this, and I guess I really appreciate the fact that they are doing this. Is this protective film on there, because they put an awful lot of the fluid or the spray on there to be able to manipulate the film around and move it how they need it. And when that film runs all down the side of your door panels, it makes a mess. And I would imagine that the cleanup by not doing this is twice the time versus just putting this painter's tape or whatever. What would you call that?
It's painter's tape, so it doesn't leave a residue when I pull it off.
Okay.
And it does make cleanup easier.
He's spraying the crap out of that thing to make sure that. Are you cleaning that now? Or?
Well, that is just trying to wash down any loose debris or dirt to just try and prevent anything getting in the film.
All
and
right.
now I'm going to take a scrub pad and we'll get along those edges and around the bottom, and then we'll clean it real good. I started helping Larry when I was a freshman in high school, so I've probably been doing it about 23 years.
Something you guys might have not caught, but he put that window down about an inch so he can get that sized up to the top. Now, what's the reveal you usually bring it right to the exact edge?
Leave it down just a little bit, about a 32nd or so, and that just prevents when it rolls up into the seal that it doesn't peel.
Okay. And you guys have, what, a week time frame if it's just sitting in a cool garage, or?
About 2 to 3 days, depending on the temperature.
Okay.
Best thing for this will be sunlight, but here in Northwest Pennsylvania, that's not a real thing. So.
So you're pretty much done with this window. You've tucked it all in down into the door trim there. Cleaned this side, cleaning the other side of it. And what do you think? That's 20 minutes a window?
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, so not bad then. All right, so he's got it all finished up. He's got that top visor strip in there. Windows are all done, and they are about identical to the rear. The color match is pretty darn good.
You'll notice on the interior there's a little difference
Okay.
in the color, and that's due to tint on the glass and then versus the dyed film.
So the back one's got a little bit of a blacker look. The front one's got a little bit of a browner look, but you know what? I don't drive turned around, so it doesn't really matter.
Correct.
Got to keep looking ahead. Robbie's all finished up, did a phenomenal job on it. It really looks the way I wanted it to look. Robbie, how can people get a hold of you if they're interested in getting windows or residential or commercial done?
We're on Facebook, Larry's Tint Shop. You can message me on there or call us here at the shop, 814-336-1199.
You guys have been in business for, geez, how many years now? 25?
Well, including with Larry, it's over 40.
Over 40 years. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you very much. Guys, make sure if you're in need of anything like that, get a hold of them. And I guess I'm saying that they'll do a pretty decent job for you. So thanks again.
Thank you.
So what did I go and do? Well, this was my solution to the 6.2 liter L87 motor that no one at GMC could give me a good answer on. Went to two different dealers, went to the service departments, and I asked two people, different dealers, said, what in the world is GMC doing about this particular issue? Well, they really didn't know. They said, just drive it till it blows up, hand grenades, whatever you want to call it. There's a crank bearing that was going bad in them and causing the motor to seize up. Really didn't want to have that issue happening if I'm on a road trip somewhere and have the GMC die on me. The lady says, well, you've got warranty. Well, that doesn't really make you feel any better when you buy a very expensive vehicle to, I guess, be reliable. And, well, I guess it's not going to be reliable. So I went back to the Ford, and what I ended up getting here is the Ford Raptor Gen 3. It's the 801A package where it comes with the 35-inch wheels. As you've seen, I put some new wheels on it and put some tin in it, put a bed cover on the back, and I put a bed mat in it. It did not come with any kind of lining on it. You know, I'm not really rough on them as far as throwing stuff in the back. So I guess it wasn't an absolute need to, hey, that's kind of cool. But it wasn't an absolute need to have, you know, a big pickup truck for doing things like that. And I went back to this Raptor because these things absolutely drive down the road like a Cadillac. I did put 20-inch wheels with 37-inch tires on it. Is it not supposed to have 20s because it's a Baja vehicle? Well, it's not Baja. It's just running up and down the highway around here, down the roads, maybe a dirt road once in a while. And man, I'll tell you what, it rides so nice. Everything runs nice about it. It is a 2025, and the cam phaser issue, from what I was told, has been resolved. So I shouldn't have to worry about that. But I guess it doesn't matter what vehicle you get. It's going to end up giving you trouble some point in time. And are these things plush? It does come with the heads-up display, drops down the console shifter, all that good stuff. Basically a Ford interior, in and out. But yeah, this was my solution to resolving the GMC problem. I was talking with Mike Morgan, and he had the Denali, and we both kind of agreed that at some point in time, we probably ought to get rid of these. And Mike made a really good point about the fact that if you wait any longer to trade in one of your problem child GMC 6.2 liter motors, the market's going to become so flooded with them, the value of them isn't going to be worth anything. So with that being said, I jumped on the trade-in wagon about a week after Mike traded his in, and decided to get this. A Raptor that I love. I know I've had one before. They ride nice. There wasn't anything about it that I disliked other than the cam phaser issue, but hopefully that's been resolved. So was it expensive to switch back a year and a half later? Yeah, it was. But I also don't like having that thought in the back of my mind that at any point in time, a vehicle I'm driving down the road can leave me stranded. I didn't have a comforting feeling about that. No, I don't have children or whatever riding with me, but usually if we're going somewhere, my wife's with me, and I don't think she could push the vehicle off the side of the road while I'm steering it. So I guess she was on board with getting rid of it. Plus, she also thinks that this particular Raptor, I guess, is a little more my style. If you guys got an L87 6.2 liter motor out there, you might want to start thinking now, should I get rid of this before the market is flooded with all these vehicles, bad motors, things like that GMC doesn't really have a solution for yet right now. If you like the video, give me that thumbs up. I know it's going to be controversial. I welcome the comments. Hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hopefully down the road, we'll let you know whether this thing's been a problem or not. Thanks, and we'll see you again soon.